Okay, looks like I'm live, and I didn't do anything else other than start and stop at things a couple times, but I apologize. It is now 23 minutes past the hour when I was supposed to start, and it's a complete mystery to me. For those of you who know Wirecast, maybe none of you do, but it's a broadcasting software, and but for some reason it wasn't talking to YouTube. So it's just, it's like pushing a lot of buttons when you're trying to get something to work. You just start pushing every button there is. So I turned on the stream again, turned it off and turned it back on, and then YouTube found it. But the whole time it was telling me it was good. All right, well, let's see if anybody is notified about this. And so let me go to the, first of all, I'm going to make sure that this is on mute so that I don't get myself all mixed up here. And let me go to the live chat room and see if anyone has joined us. Hi. Yes, Altug. Wow, you guys are so diligently faithful. Thank you for hanging around. I apologize. I've done 36 of these, and I did exactly the same thing I did 35 times before. But anyway, here we are. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to make sure you can hear me and that you can see me, and I'm guessing that you can, since you're not telling me otherwise. Okay, so I got this comment this week from Ricardo Valdez, and he's in Mexico. And he's going to school down there, and it sounds like he's studying singing. And he was very complimentary of the things that we're putting on YouTube right now. He said, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I want to send you money because I don't deserve this information just for nothing. You are the best teacher, T-E-A-C-H-E-R, in caps." He said, "I've heard. Thank you very much for the gift you are giving us. I've been on singing lessons for 3 years now, and after 2 weeks of your videos, I decided I'm leaving my teacher." Well, so my advice is always, if you're not getting results, then change teachers. It's not the end of the world for the teacher, and get someone that's going to help you, because it doesn't take long to begin making progress. It's amazing how far away the great singing abilities are from teaching abilities. Not because you sing good, but you teach good. This is my actual teacher. Teacher's case, I'm leaving him. I want to say thanks again. I don't know why you do this, but thank you. You're changing the world, trust me. I live in Monterrey, Mexico, and sang in front of around 2,000 people at my university. I have experience, great color. I don't have any harmony or pitch problems. I've even composed songs, but the singing technique, especially for high notes around the G sharp, A, that's, I'm sure, above the middle C, in my case, oh wow, far, far from your basic theory. Really, if we could have, talked about Skype lessons and so forth. But wow, congratulations on what you've developed teaching-wise. Thank you, Ricardo. I appreciate so much your enthusiasm, and that's really, I have a little saying on my desk, transform singers' lives, and that's what I'm trying to do, because my life has been transformed by this technique and experience. These exercises, then he says, these exercises let me hit the A easier than before, but I happen to hit it nice when going and coming on a scale, like on a staccato or short length notes. So he's saying that, let's just say, mum, 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 is easier for him, and he can do that and hit the notes. Mum, 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 mum. Or on a, ma 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 ma. He's saying I can hit that A or that A flat. You see, which note was he talking about there? I think it was the A flat, and or the G sharp A. I see. So the A flat and A, he can do that on those kinds of scales. But when it comes to saying ma 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 ma, he's saying it's hard to do. It's hard to sustain that note. It feels insecure. As soon as I want to maintain that note, it still breaks or feels insecure. Any suggestions? Should I be patient? How much time should it take to dominate? Remove the bratty sound and then be able to include this technique during actual songs. Yes, these are fantastic questions and everybody has them. So I want to just give some ideas to answer the question and then and answer these questions. First of all, any suggestions on how you can maintain the note? Usually it's because the larynx is coming up and or we're just simply not used to it, used to the feeling, so we don't know how to deal with it. Now, there's two ways to go about this. We can do the bratty neigh. Neigh, 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 and then try and go a little less bratty. Neigh, 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 neigh. Or we can try neigh, 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 no, 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 no. Neigh, 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 no, 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 no. Neigh, 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 no, 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 no. And if those hold, then we might want to try neigh, 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 no, 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 no. Neigh, 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 no, 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 no. And if those work, try no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Or if with the no-no's holding, then let's try the mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. If they're holding on those short ones, try sustaining it. Mum. So this is where we're going to take our low, all these times, we're going to take a low breath, pull the tummy in as you're doing it, not hard, just gently. Mum, 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 mum. Now, I'm the first to admit that I couldn't start out that loud or strong, and so you just do what you can. And if the larynx starts to come up, try like a gee, 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 gee. And it's okay if it's a little bit on the hooty side, a little bit on the flute-y side. Some people call it a flute sound. But what we're trying to do is develop the coordination, the comfort of staying there. So if the larynx starts to come up, gee, 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 it might feel a little wobbly or even crack. So you want to have that little imposition. Gee, gee, gee. I'll show you. Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee. So you have that little bit of a dopey sound or hooty sound, which keeps the larynx down. And then with that conditioning, gee, 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 go, 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 go. Go to gee, 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 then to go, go, go. And then try and hold, go to a more open vowel. Gee, 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 go, 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 go. It's more open. Gee, 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 go, 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 go. And then once those are holding, as it sounds like for Ricardo they are, then now and you can start out with less volume. This doesn't have to be this loud. Gee, 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 go, go, as soon as possible, you want to get that vibrato going because that adds also to the coordination of the chord structure. Gee, 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 go, 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 go. And it's always okay to, after you work that, go back to this. Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee. Go, 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 go. Put this at the top of it one time. Try it. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Those are all things that you can do to begin to, well, first of all, to keep the larynx down. That's the number one thing, because the larynx is what causes that imbalance and that wobbling and instability. And so it's okay to start it out on the octave repeat and doing it on short notes instead of like holding and sustaining it. But if you realize that this is really the same, ma, 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 we say ma, 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 ma. So if I say ma, 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 it's holding. Now all I have to do is just hit the first one and hold it as long as I'm holding the, as many times as I'm holding the, or repeating that little impression. Ma, 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 ma. So over time, just like going to the gym, doing workouts at the gym, lifting weights, or starting a running program, you just, it'd be nice if you just go first day, everything's perfect, and you know you're 100%, and now you're in shape. You go to the gym, you come home, now you're in shape. I just don't know of anything that works that way with the human body or the mind, really. And so it does take some time. And so the principle is keep the larynx down, use the dopey sound. I think that's probably the fastest, one of the best ways. You can do the bratty sound, but if you're into opera and things like that, it's probably not the best way to approach the opera, because we want the larynx down. If you're in more of a pop rock genre, then the bratty neigh might be a great way to do it. And give yourself those exercises and just repeat them on a regular basis. Don't sing loud. Don't sing any louder. If you start to sing loud and you lose the coordination, back off on the volume, and I think that'll help. All right, so hopefully that helps. How long does it take? You know, it's different for everybody. I think really to get really comfortable and apply it in the song, it takes some time. And it depends on the skill level of the student. It depends on just so many different things. I don't think there's a rule, I have to say. I don't think there's a standard rule. When someone asks me how much from zero to like really doing it, in my opinion, I think it takes about 1.5 years, actually. Now that's me, all right? I'm about an 18-month guy. It seems like it takes me about 18 months to get anything going on a regular basis, on a sustained, you know, where I'm really in my stride. All right, so let me address some of your questions. My wife is out of town. We had a baby grandson born yesterday. Heck, I think I'm going to show you a picture here. You want to see a picture of my grandson? Can you see that? That is Stetson. His name is Stetson. Stetson Gilmore. And Grandma went up to stay with Mom and family to help with this new little baby. So this is like I think this is number 15. I think that's right, 15. So we're very excited, and everybody's doing well. Baby and mom are doing well. She had a C-section. And so anyway, my assistant's not here today. So Osmond Studios, thank you for being here. You were one of the faithful who waited so long. Sirizi Records, thank you for being here. Altug, so great to see you again. Anupam, hello. Great to have you here. Johnny Hansen, thanks you guys. Bot BD, thank you. So let me see if I can't address some of these. Monlic, M-O-N-L-I-M-A-C-C. So it looks like you guys are having some conversations. Let me just see if there's some things here that I can address. Luis Fernando, great. Thank you very much. So, I am bad at bleating in pitch. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Can you help me with it? I'm not sure what bleeding in pitch means. If that's vibrato, or what that is. So maybe you can clarify that for me. How to remove vocal fry from the voice. So you've got this, is this kind of a, when you're talking or when you're singing? And I'm guessing that's what you mean by removing this kind of sound. Let me tell you, I don't know exactly why it's happening to you. I'll tell you why it happens to me. I get acid reflux. And in the lower register of my voice, when I get up in the morning, it's just, it's awful. And so I'm taking medication for acid reflux. Now, there are other reasons, I'm sure, for that vocal fry kind of sound scratch. And I would say the first thing you should probably do is go have a doctor put a scope down there and take a look at it. Sometimes it's caused by what they call a chink, and that is that the vocal cords aren't coming all the way together at the let me see. I guess it would be in the posterior aspect of the cord structure itself. They're not able to completely adduct. I don't know. You know what? I'm probably have to rely on somebody that knows that better than I do. But either the posterior or anterior side, the cord structure isn't coming together completely, and so that can cause that that vocal fry sound. And why it happens, I can't tell you. Usually, as I mentioned, for me, I've got some acid reflux, and it causes my cords are swollen, and so they can't come together completely, and I get that little fry sound, especially in the lower register, in the bottom part of my voice. It could also be caused from vocal abuse. I sang sick one time, and I got nodules on the false cords. Fortunately, it wasn't on the actual vocal folds themselves, but on the false cords were just lateral of the cord vocal folds, and they were bilateral, so I had two of them. The doctor said he'd never seen that before, and it was because I overdid it one night. I had a very severe sore throat. I took 4 Advil and sang and did the show, and I shouldn't have done that. So it damaged my voice. So I had some damage on my on the false cords, and so that's why I say, Anupam, you may want to have someone take a look at that to make sure there's not something on there or some pathology that's causing this problem. Once you know that, then your mind is greatly relieved, and you can usually they'll have some recommendation for you to help get rid of that sound. But you also need to maintain good vocal technique. And poor technique could also cause something like that, or singing sick like I did. Alto, in the mornings I can sing G2, but as the day progresses I can hardly sing B flat 2. Is it because my larynx is moving up throughout the day and that I lose the resting position? Well, I think all of us have, in the first thing in the morning, a deeper voice. I'm still able to hit my lower notes, but it just really rumbles in the morning. So alto, it may be that it might be the larynx coming up, possibly, or it may be that just after sleeping all night, you just wake up and the vocal cords are in a situation where they're going to be sometimes the swollen cords. When you're cold, when you have a cold, or when you're sick, you can really get really deep too. But I wouldn't worry too much about it unless you feel some strain or stress. Are you singing a lot down in the G2? I don't really myself sing that much down there, but sometimes. But it's possible that the larynx is coming up during the day. And so a good way to measure this is to do the vocal exercises that you do, and then about 45 minutes to an hour, try it and see what happens. See if you're able to get it, if the larynx is down, and if you're able to hit those lower notes. So Osmium Studios, could you do more songs or covers? I'm not sure if you're asking me or not, but I probably could. It's just it's really tough to. I do songs when I'm in shows, and I'm in a show right now, and so I'm singing I've got a solo with a chorus behind me. And it's about the United States Declaration of Independence, and it's called 1776. And I'm singing something called "Cool, Cool Men." And but between trying to publish 2 videos a week and doing all my students, is really hard to prepare a lot of covers. I do them once in a while. But I can't make any commitments to a regular. I even have had requests, and I just don't have right now. I just don't have the time to do it. I do hundreds and hundreds of vocal evaluations every week through my website. You've probably seen it, where someone sends me their vocal test. Anyway, it's just. My time is so limited. Isn't that horrible? I don't have time to sing. But I'm rehearsing I'm in rehearsals now. We opened this Friday. So every night this week I'm in rehearsals. So that takes me, last night I got home in 10 minutes after 11 o'clock. So that's, started at 6, went till 11:10. Or that's when we got out. Okay. How can I practice singing without waking anyone up? Well, go to the other end of the house, go outside, go sit in the car. That's a problem, and it can be, especially if if your spouse or you have children, or or practice during the time of day when everybody's awake. And like maybe in the early evenings or something, you might want to try that. Pick a different time, or go out into the car, or go to the other end of the house. Even the bubbles get noisy. But you really need to be able to sing. You need to be able to sing and vocalize. And if someone is going to wake up and you don't want them to wake up, that's a problem. So I've had others who've done the same thing. And if you live in an apartment, that's tough, because you don't want to wake up your neighbors. So I have some students who practice in the early evenings so that no one's asleep yet. So that's a tough one, Johnny. There's not really one answer to that. But I don't think there's anything you can do it quiet, but there's going to be parts of your song. If you get to songs, you're going to have to sing out, right? And so you can only do so much. How to get the whistle register? Yeah, I'd recommend, I saw a video online where, I wish I had his name in front of me, but he does voice lessons for for Broadway or something like that. Voice lessons on Broadway, or I can't remember. But he's got a video on how, and teaches people how to do the whistle register. I don't teach people, because I don't do it myself. So I would recommend looking him up. He does a really great job teaching it. It's got a good series of videos. And oh, thank you. You like Stetson? You know, well, thank you. It's Stetson. In America, there are hats called Stetson hats. And nobody wears hats anymore, but that's all I could think of when I first heard it. But it's growing on me. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. It's very exciting, this new little one. Oh, hi, Monica. Thank you for joining today. And yeah, sorry, Bhat, I just don't, I've never had use for the whistle register. I think it's kind of more of a, I don't know. It's I don't know the word is escaping me, but it's kind of a, I just don't know how often you would use it in a song, you know, or other than just making a high note, high pitch. But a lot of people are interested in that. So when you sing high, you get the vocal fry. Well, I've had students who get scratchy sound. Ah, it's the larynx coming up. Ah, it's the larynx. So I'd have to hear what you're doing. If I get them to say, I could get rid of that fry, that scratchy sound, because I'm getting the larynx down. But I don't know that's the case with you, but I know a lot of times with me in the past, as I'd get that scratchy sound, it's the larynx inching up, and then I'd get that ah. So I'd have to listen to what you were doing. Okay, John Hanson, the message was retracted. What did you say? I'm just kidding you. When I sing high notes, my voice always breaks after a few seconds. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It just depends. There's a lot of different reasons for it. It could be the vocal cords are swollen. Maybe you've got something on the vocal folds. Maybe the larynx is coming up. Maybe you're singing too loud. Maybe you're singing too soft. Maybe there's not enough breath support. It's hard for me to give you an answer without working with your voice. But those are all possibilities there. Do you think falsetto is helpful for practicing the higher notes? So I'll tell you, I think falsetto is not that helpful if you can sing in head voice. But if somebody can't, I had a student this last week who called me from, well, it was a YouTube subscriber, and I think he was from the UK, and oh, sorry, I just hit my microphone. He couldn't. He'd never been able. He never could get into falsetto. He's never been in falsetto in his life, and so as he sang higher, he just kept holding on. And I've had probably like 3 or 4 students over the last 8 years who had never broke, and never gone to the falsetto. So he'd never ever felt the freedom of falsetto. What, you know, how it feels just to be able to say, just no tension, no pressure or anything like that. And so I've used falsetto to help students feel what head voice feels like when there's release, when the head voice is really released. That's head voice, because I wasn't disconnected. The tone wasn't disconnected. It kind of sounds similar and it feels similar, but the student had never, he just couldn't ever, he never felt a released head voice. So in that instance, falsetto is helpful because it helps people feel the release that's possible with head voice. Beyond that, I don't see any use for it, because I can do everything with head voice that I can do with falsetto, but I don't have to reconnect when I go back down into my chest. You know, and there's some instances in some styles of music where you're singing along and you can and you can break, and there's some, you know, it creates some kind of style choice. But I hope that all of my students that I work with, if they're going to do that, that it's a choice that they're making, and that it's not that that's the only way they can sing it is to break. And so I think falsetto can be helpful in limited situations to help people feel what it feels. This is men. I think I've never had a female student who couldn't have at least the falsetto feeling. But I've had some male students who never could break into falsetto for whatever reason, and then I actually help them break into falsetto, and then I have to put it back together again. But I want them to feel what it feels like to have that release in their voice. So I don't think it's helpful for practicing high notes necessarily if you can do head voice, and because inevitably we've got to put the voice back together. We have to connect up that tone, keep the vocal cords adducted adequately. Could you like popular song covers, do more videos of you singing songs? I'm sure that I will sometime, but I have a vocal problem. Whenever I try to sing high notes, I kind of lose my voice. So there's just ear. How can I stop that? I kind of lose my voice, so there's just air. Yeah. So if I said, it's my larynx. The larynx has gone up so high that it just cuts everything off. If you put your hand here and swallow while you hum, keep swallowing while you're humming, you're going to find out you can't. If the larynx goes up high enough, it cuts off all the sound, and you don't even get air, because air can't escape. So the larynx, when it goes up, it causes that to happen. Do you know The Weeknd? I don't. I have vocal surgery 5 years ago. I'm still having problems. My voice gets raspy and weak, and my gums feel weird. Don't know about the gums. I'm not sure what that means, because they're quite a distance away from the vocal folds. So, Zeke boy, have you been to the doctor, and is there scarring tissue? Is there scar tissue on the vocal cords themselves? Because there can be damage. This is why, like Julie Andrews, for example, stopped singing, is there was some damage on her vocal cords after her surgery, and she stopped singing, which is borderline tragic. And so my question for you is, have you gone to another doctor who didn't do the surgery and had them look at your vocal cords and taken you through an exam And have they determined if there's anything on them, or there's some nerve that was damaged, or some part of the vocal fold itself that has some scar tissue or some other pathology? Because I would really have to know that. I'm more likely to bridge clunkily and lose coordination, compression when moving from a higher pitch to a lower one. What can I focus on technique-wise to work on it? Also curious, why is this? So, Jordan, I used to be surprised too, because I'd be coming down sometimes, and it would crack on the way down. It didn't crack on the way up. And then I had one of my teachers said, the larynx can come up on the way down. And that's what was happening. My larynx was coming up as I was going down. And so I'd get a crack. Or I'd get this clunk right in the middle. So the way I fixed it was I just stayed a little bit dopey. Whatever it was, I would just put a little bit of duh sound in it. So it's easy for me to show on an exercise, but if I said, so I would practice going down with a little bit of dopey sound. Now the other thing I found is that sometimes if I back off on breathing, if I back off on my breath, I kind of like lean, I try and supply a constant flow of air. If my airflow hesitates, or if I back away from the air that I'm using for my singing, then my vocal cords stop. They stop because there's no air going through them, or they flutter, or they disconnect momentarily. And so here's what I found this to be very helpful. I don't know where you're from, Jordan. It sounds like you're from the States, or someplace where there's likely to be vehicles. So in the U.S., we have lots of big trucks that travel on the highway. And so this is what I do. I picture my breath pushing a high-profile semi-truck trailer down the highway. So if I say, so I just imagine when I'm singing that air has to be consistently, I imagine I'm pushing it down the highway, and if I stop the air, the truck stops also, right on the highway. So I imagine just keeping that air leaning up against that truck while I'm pushing it down the highway. And I found that smooths out a lot of things. So give that a try, see what you think. Can you give us the best tip on correct breathing apagio technique? Jonathan, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by the apagio, but best tip on correct breathing. So for me, the first step is we've got to be able to go from an open valve to a narrow valve to a closed valve. So let's just say no, 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 no. So first step is my larynx has to stay down, and I have to be able to bridge so that I don't have any interruption in the tone. If I can't bridge, and so I get a break or something like that, or I'm unstable in the bridge, then it doesn't matter what my breathing is. It's going to interrupt the airflow, and the tone's going to disconnect. And so the first step is to be able to bridge. So this is the F sharp. No, 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 no. So in terms of breathing, I just take a low breath, so my tummy comes out, diaphragm drops, pulls the air into my lungs, And then as I'm using the air, I'm gently pulling my tummy in as the diaphragm begins to contract, and it helps kind of keep that air flow. And then I use more air to go louder and less air to go softer. And I've been able to kind of balance that now in the bridge. No, 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 no. Now that's not the greatest. I'm not warmed up, but I think that's what you're referring to, and so those are the primarily the two things that I would recommend. Is you have to be able to bridge, and then the low breath seems to help a great deal. Okay, so we're getting close to being. Well, we're at 41 minutes here, so we're going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes here. I don't know, Jonathan. Hopefully that's helpful. I don't know anything about singing. What should I start with? Well, Yasser, I would go to powertosing.com. That's my home base, and start watching videos. And I take the vocal test, powertosing.com. There's a vocal test there. It's called the power test. First thing you have to be able to do is kind of the number one thing you've got to be able to do before you do anything. You've got to make sure that when you hear a pitch, your voice can match it. Ah. If you hear the pitch and you sing ah or oh or ah, you've got to be able to be right on the pitch. Ah. And so a great way to start is making sure that you can match the pitch and sing with every song on YouTube, sing with every song on the radio, and develop your ear, and then start taking some lessons. That's a very fast way to do it. Get into choir at school or church or whatever, and start singing in the choirs. Okay, best diet for singers? I don't know, but I do. It's different for everybody. There is a video at powertosing.com in the Knowledge Center. And in the Knowledge Center, there's a drop-down area for categories, and you can search singing for eating for singing, or food for singing, something like that. And there's one video I have there, and I give you some links to some people that recommend certain things, but it's different for everybody, really. It just seems like different foods react differently. Some people can't drink milk, and some people, it doesn't bother them at all, and they can go sing. Scratchy sound, Larry's coming up, thanks. Well, you're welcome. So Joe says, hi Joe. When I would try to sing falsetto, I thought it was ugly, so I stayed in chest voice. Yeah, and there's a lot of things about us that we don't like in our voices, and so we end up doing ourselves a disservice because we really have to put together everything. We have to put together all of the different registers, they're called, chest, middle, and head, in order to be able to really have the flexible voice that we want. We want to be able to sing everything and everywhere. That's the idea. Because that's when it really gets fun. Which exercises help singers in singing high notes? So you med sing. Any of the exercises, for example, on my website for pull chest high larynx, helps you to bridge. Once you learn the bridge really well, then the higher notes become accessible to you. If you can't bridge really well and very comfortably at E, F sharp, or for the ladies, A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, that's the high C sharp. These are the A above middle C. If we can't do that, then the high notes never become easy or accessible. So that's the first step. Thanks, Alta. Can you demonstrate reaching a high head voice note and grow it louder and stronger? So, if I said ma 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 ma, or if I said ma 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 ma. Now, that's the high C. I'm actually a bass. That's the low E. So I feel pretty good about, it's maybe not a Pavarotti high C, but that's a high C. It's connected. It's not falsetto. And I can get fairly loud on that and fairly soft without it breaking. So that's because I've learned how to bridge, really. You know, and I know there are people that can do it better, and they should be able to do it better, but I feel pretty good about it being a bass. It's a basso cantata, so I'm a bass with some tenor notes. Zeke boy, okay, so no scar tissue. From what they said, I have some good days. When I relapse, it takes time to heal. I have a weird noise that I make with my voice. I'm like juggling my larynx extremely fast. Yeah, Zeke, I would have to probably work with you to give you some better direction. It doesn't matter, you know, if you take vocal rest to get your voice back into shape. It doesn't matter if you have surgery. If you're not singing correctly, it's going to re-injure your voice. It's going to re-injure. It's going to come back. So the cause, the surgery never addresses the cause. It always addresses the consequence of poor singing. But it doesn't it doesn't mean you're going to be able to sing after. You've got to get your technique down so that you don't re-injure your voice. I just want to say thank you for taking voice lessons again after several years. Happened up on your site a few days. Glad I found. Great, thanks, Jordan. Okay, so you know, I don't have I don't even drink tea myself. You know, and I had a friend who swore that if she just ate some slices of apples, that it got her voice ready, and she would carry apples. She'd carry apples to the show. She'd eat apples. And so I've talked to everybody has something different. And so try some things, see what happens, see if there's something that works really well for you. For me, I used to think if I brushed it felt like when I brushed my teeth, that seemed to help. It was probably how it coated the lining of my throat or something, I don't know. So that video that I referenced has like 5 links to 5 different ideas that people have. When I try and sing, I'm going to answer one more. When I sing loud notes, high notes loudly, more powerfully, my voice becomes really hoarse, hurts my throat a little. That's because you're pulling your chest voice. You're pulling your chest voice up too high, and the larynx is coming up, and that causes hoarseness and it causes it to be sore. And when we do it quietly, now the chord structure, the larynx is probably still up, and the vocal cords you're probably still pulling chest, but the cords are not as tight because they don't have to hold back as much air, and so it's a little bit easier. So you need to go to powertosing.com, take the vocal test, the power test, find out what your vocal type is, probably pulled chest, high larynx. Start working on those exercises because they'll help you to bridge and get up into your head voice without the larynx coming up. So thanks, you guys. Surgery is something different, not me singing incorrectly. Oh, good. All right. So after the last one, my voice my face went numb. Sounds wild. Zeke, I'm not sure what to tell you. Surgery was something different, not me singing incorrectly. That doesn't mean the vocal cords weren't damaged. they could have been damaged in some way. Or I've known people who've had surgery for other things besides not even their vocal cords, but because of the intubation, they put the tube down the throat into the lungs. It ended up damaging the vocal cords because the tube scratched them. So anyway, got to go. Thanks, you guys. It's been fun. Sorry for the long delay. Grateful that you were able to come back. And I don't have all the answers for everything. And then sometimes I don't even know what to say without hearing the voice and working with it. But thank you for joining me. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing. And you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thank you.